Good evening. Thank you for taking time out of your day to listen to our presentation. I'd like to mention that this webinar is being recorded and will be available at a later date. Educators are lifelong learners, but also very busy people. We understand that trying to figure out how to fit in going back to school can feel daunting at times. We hope that the information we share over the next half hour will help you see how UNE Online can help you meet your educational goals. I'm Elaine Hughes, the Assistant Director of Graduate Programs and Education. With me, I have...
Hi, everyone. I'm Greg Andrews. I'm a Student Support Specialist 2 here with the Education Programs.
And I am Daniel Barcelona. I am an Enrollment Counselor for the Online Graduate Programs in Education.
The goal of our webinar is to answer the following 10 questions. These are the questions that we, as a team, thought about the things we most frequently hear from students, and thought we would put them together for you to answer. If you have additional questions not covered on our list, we will be monitoring the chat room, so please send them in and we will address them at the end of our presentation. Before we go any further, we'd like to take a moment and ask you to quickly answer a poll question, and that is, what's your primary reason for continuing your education? All right, thanks for weighing in. It looks like we had specialization in an area of interest and a promotion or leadership position in my field. And as we go through the following slides, we'll continue to talk more about how our programs can help with both of those. So one question is, a lot of people are wondering, who are our current students? They're about an average age of 35. They're all working professionals. The majority are New England based. We have a large percentage of people that come from Maine, of course, and then we also have a large number from Connecticut. And almost a lot of our students are referred from a friend that's also in the program or has completed the program in the past. And who are our faculty? Our faculty are in schools every day. They are superintendents, principals, and veteran teachers. They are scholar practitioners. One part of my job that I really enjoy is reading the course evaluations submitted by our students at the completion of a course. One theme that consistently comes through loud and clear is that students find our faculty to be accessible, committed, and caring.
So we offer 6 programs in our graduate programs in education, 2 of which do lead to certifications. They are main DOE approved programs. So the 6 programs that we offer in total are the Master of Science in Education program, the Master of Science in Education Reading Specialist program, which leads to the main DOE Literacy Specialist certification. We have our 15-credit Postmaster Certificate program. We have 2 30-credit Postmasters programs that are the Certificate of Advanced Graduate Study, and then the Certificate of Advanced Graduate Study in Advanced Educational Leadership, which leads to the main DOE 040 Building Administrator certification. And then we have our Doctor of Education program. And the 2 certification programs, since they are main approved programs, they can potentially lead to certification in other states if you check with the state's Department of Education for reciprocity. So what degrees and certificate programs are available? You can see the program breakdown for the percentage of students in our programs, and you can see that the 2 most popular programs that we have are the Master of Science in Education, as well as the Certificate of Advanced Graduate Study Advanced Educational Leadership options. So here we have a further breakdown of our programs. Most of our programs are 30 credits. We have the Master of Science in Education Reading Specialist program, which is 36 credits. We have our Postmaster Certificate program, which is 15 credits. And then our doctoral program, the Doctor of Education, is 51 credits. The standard time of completion for each of these will vary depending on the student's goals. On average, most of our programs are 2 years, with the exception of the Postmaster Certificate program, which typically takes 1 year or less, and the Doctor of Education program, which takes approximately 3 years. You can see what the students are often seeking when they're enrolling in these programs on the right. So you can refer to whatever you may have answered and see how it relates to any of these programs. So students do not need to enroll in formal programs. All students are eligible to take courses as non-matriculated students. In order to do that, you will not need to submit an application. There is just a very short form that can be found below and on our website. Students can take up to 4 courses before having to matriculate into a program. And with that, there is a full list of course offerings on our website. And you can also reach out to any of our enrollment counselors to inquire when a course is available.
So once students get in, one of the biggest questions that we hear is, how do students balance it all? As Elaine mentioned earlier, 100% of our students work full-time as educators in our programs. Typically, they spend between 10 and 17 hours a week on the coursework, and they'll work on that coursework anywhere during the weekdays or after work, weekdays after work or on the weekends. One thing that we can say is that about 81% of our polled students have reported that the workload balance meets their expectations. And so we help our students balance it all. You'll notice here on this slide, there's 3 pictures of 3 dashing gentlemen. Jason as Dorian, Zach York, and myself. We all work as student support specialists here with the college. We help schedule your course plan. We'll check in with you and remind you of various deadlines, anything from enrollment confirmation to registering to applying for that graduation date that everybody can't wait to get to. We're also liaisons for all university offices, resources, etc. So we tell people to make us your first call, and we'll do everything we can to be your last. There's also the Student Academic Success Center. SASE is what we refer to it as, and they'll help students work on their study habits and time management, because an online distance program can be a little bit different than your typical brick and mortar. They have some subject-specific tutoring that we can refer you to if you need it, writing support, and of course, English as a second language support. So looking at our courses specifically, they do occur with 3 semesters with 2 start dates each. So they occur roughly once every 5 terms on a rotation. With this, we have 6 start dates a year. So that is for students who are looking to come in like yourselves. And we only offer 3 start dates for our EDD program. Each semester has 2 8-week-long courses. One is an A session and one is a B session. We do offer some 16-week courses specifically in our master's and our CAGS AEL program. And those, while being 16-week courses, as the next pop-up will say, they are also 3 credits, much like our 8-week courses. So you're going to pay for the same amount of credits regardless, but you're still going to get that same quality education, sometimes just a little bit longer. And then if you're looking to finish as soon as you possibly can, most programs, as Dan had pointed out, you can finish roughly in 2 years. If you try to go straight through and finish up, you can take as many as 6 courses in 1 academic year. And then if you look over on the right side, we do have a grid here that shows just a rough estimate of when our start dates are for each term. These are pretty standard, though they may change depending on how a calendar year works out. And so looking at a typical week for a UNE online student, most, if not all of our courses do work on this kind of a schedule. We do have Wednesdays where primary discussion board posts are due. And then if you look over all the way to the right, you'll see on Sundays, any other homework such as essays or reading assignments or anything along those lines, those are due, as well as secondary discussion board posts, which are typically people who are responding to your post or you responding to other people's posts. And that's what really helps to drive our education here, is that collaborative piece. And then if you look down here at the bottom, you'll see a typical class looks like. In this case, it was an adult learning theory course that ran last spring. We do use the Blackboard learning management system. Most people have worked with it, but if you haven't worked with Blackboard before, please don't panic. We do offer an online orientation where you can get a really good feel for what you're seeing in your courses and kind of feel how it works for you before you ever have to step foot into a class.
And now we'd like to pause for one last poll. Again, we'll take about 30 seconds for you to answer. And the question is, what is your biggest hurdle when deciding whether to continue your education? All right, so we've had some people that are concerned about the biggest hurdle is financial limitations or ROI concerns, and then someone else that hasn't found a suitable degree program or institution to date. With that, we have our next question deals with the financial piece.
So another major question that we hear is, how do I pay for this program? And so we usually respond with another question, which is, are you working with your district? A lot of our students, roughly 40 to 45% of them, do work with their district or their school in particular to help pay for some of this. And so we do work with a lot of institutions. You'll notice a link here at the bottom of this slide, une.edu/third-party. And that's a great site to take a look if you're interested in working between your school and being a student here and working with our billing office. It's a great way to get some money taken care of so you don't have to pay for it all out of pocket. We also do offer financial aid. We work pretty much as any other institution does. And then there's the Teach Grant, which is another form of federal financial aid, which we don't offer directly from us, but we do accept. So if you qualify and have that money, we will work with you to apply that towards your tuition.
So recently, we have surveyed some of our UNE online education students and alumni and found some fantastic data through that, in that 92% of the students reported that they received a salary increase as a direct result from the online program. 91% felt that the UNE program was a worthwhile financial investment. 95% of students said that their reasons for choosing the UNE program were fulfilled. And nearly 100% of the students surveyed would recommend the program that they attended to someone else.
So what's unique about our approach to online learning? Well, part of it is the group of people that I work with, the student support specialists. We're here really to just be your point of contact. So whether you're right down the street or all the way across the world, there's somebody here that will help with whatever it is that you need to make sure you have the best experience possible.
So something else special is that UNE was founded in 1831 and is an established institution primarily known for our programs in health sciences and education.
We have customizable curriculum and flexible course plans.
As I'd mentioned before, we have our Student Academic Success Center, or SASE, and they're here to provide convenient academic assistance for you. And they also do work specifically with our online people and have an online specific portion of their office.
We definitely love to emphasize the flexibility that our program offers, and our flexibility means that we can work with you and your financial situation to help keep you on track.
And again, as we talked about before, we have beloved faculty who draw from their years of teaching to share skills that they know will work in the classroom.
So how can you get started? The first step would be to start an online application at online.une.edu/apply. Every program is going to have different application requirements, so you can locate those application requirements on our website. Regardless, every program does require your resume as well as a brief goal statement. You will also have to request an official transcript that verifies you've completed your bachelor's degree or higher, depending on the program that you're applying to. And an official transcript must come directly from the institution you received the degree from, or the transcript must be in a sealed envelope from that institution. In addition, there is no GRE required for any of our programs, and the applications are considered on a rolling basis. So typically students will hear back in approximately a week from completing their application on an admissions decision. So our expert enrollment counselors can help guide you through the entire application process, and you can reach out to us at 800-994-2804 or education@une.edu.
And of course, with every start comes a finish. So if you look at the picture over here on your right, you'll see our dean, who is congratulating one of our EDD graduates from last year. We do have an on-campus hooding ceremony just for our college, as well as a university-wide commencement ceremony the following day. And that's something that we're really excited because you get to meet all of the people that you worked with over your journey.
All right, and with that, we'd like to open it up for questions. If we've had questions come in, or if you still have one that you want to ask, go ahead. It looks like one we have so far is, when is the next application deadline?
So the next application deadline would be for our Summer A start term, which begins April 29th. The deadline for that will be April 6th. I certainly advise any students or prospective students to regularly check our website for any future start term dates as well as application deadlines.
And then another question here we had from a Connecticut educator wondering if their DOE will recognize our program that's from Maine. And we do have reciprocity agreements with various states. We would always encourage you to check with your DOE first, and then we're happy to talk to you and share our experience working with other students from your state that have taken similar programs. Yes, we do have one more question. What is a typical amount of time that I would spend on my classwork?
So earlier in the slides, we did say anywhere from 10 to 17 hours. That does vary a little bit by program, but I think if we spread it out to 10 to 20, if we include the EDD program, that's a pretty standard amount of time, depending on how much your reading comprehension is, et cetera. Some people really dig in, some people get it on the first try. So I would say between 10 and 20 hours is extremely common.
All right, and if there are no more questions at this time, we'll go ahead and move forward. And just so we wanted to share what some of our alumni are saying. I know that we had some numbers in there before, but we thought it would be helpful to see what this is a quote from Rachel Flaxman. She earned her master's in 2018, and she's a first grade teacher in the South Portland School Department. And secondly, we have a quote from Devin Galeese, and she is expecting to finish up her CAGS AEL in this year. She is a current assistant principal for Morse High School in Bath, Maine. And with that, we'd like to again thank you for your time. To learn more, please go to online.une.edu or reach out to us at 800-994-2804. And of course, you can always email us at education@une.edu. And please, if you decide to go ahead and apply, use the code BACK2SCHOOL, all smushed together, to waive your $40 application fee.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Good night.
guys.
Have a great day.